on Kentucky Petrolhead, we're going zoom zoom in the Mazda CX-5. I said it wrong. All right, today on Kentucky Petrolhead, we're going to take a ride in the Mazda CX-5 and see what it's like. If you're interested, come along and join us, and we're going to go take it for a spirited spin and see if it does the zoom zooms. Come on, let's go. All right, so I've always wanted to drive one of these Mazda SUVs to see if it really has the zoom zoom. I've driven an MX-5, which any petrolhead or car nerd will tell you is a lot of fun, but let's see what this one does. We're going to put it in sport mode. This is the naturally aspirated one. Let's floor it. All-wheel drive. Yeah, it's not very zoom zoom. And it doesn't sound nice either. So this is the, I think it's a 2.4 liter Sky Active G 4-cylinder, and this one does not have the turbo in it. So it makes 187 horsepower, which isn't enough if you want to have some zoom zoom fun, in my opinion. Now, I know that this is considered to be more fun than a RAV4 or some of the other offerings on the market, and having owned a RAV4 at one point, I will say it is a lot nicer than the old RAV4 that I owned and way more fun, but that thing would not get out of its own way, and it had a similarly annoyingly buzzing sounding engine that almost sounded like a diesel. So that was probably the least favorite vehicle I've ever owned. This is a lot nicer than that. Now granted, when I owned a RAV4, it was an 03, so it was a long time ago. It made 150 horsepower, but this is only bumped to 187, so it's not a whole lot more, and I'm sure it's heavier than that old RAV4 that I had was. But this has a 6-speed transmission that's not a CVT like you get in many of the other ones, and it has a manual shift mode, so I can rev it out, downshift, and it stays in gear. So much nicer than a CVT. Definitely can have a little bit of sporty fun with that. I like the feel of the steering wheel. It's kind of small. It's got a good feel to it. Feels sporty. Compared to a RAV4, I haven't driven a new one, any of the new crossovers. I'm not a big crossover fan. If I want a family vehicle, a car has just almost as much space most of the time and is much more better handling. More better, yeah, I know, it's more better handling. So you gotta watch out for that. Now, they do offer this in a turbocharged model. There goes my tripod. That has 230 something horsepower off the top of my head. I can't remember. And I would think that that would be a lot of fun in this little car. And it has 300 something pound-feet of torque, I think. Now they put that same engine in a CX-50. This is a CX-5. A CX-5 is more geared towards driving on the road. The CX-50 is designed to be a little more off-roady. I mean, if you've seen other videos on my channel, you know I do like to off-road, and this is not something that I would consider for much off-roading. Maybe some dirt trails or something. The CX-50 is geared more towards that. It comes with all-terrain tires and a little bit more of a lift kit, but this is a street car. It's a modern-day family sedan, since we don't really have those anymore.
As far as looks go, I think the Mazda is one of the better looking crossovers on the market. I definitely like their front end design, and they just do something a little bit different than the other ones, so it stands out a little bit. Sometimes you get like a bunch of Hondas and Toyotas in a parking lot and you can't tell which one is yours or which one is which. So the design on this is actually pretty nice.
So the trunk space on the CX-5 is decent comparable to everything else in the class. One of the things that I do like about this is it has a 3-way split on the seats. So if you've got a really long item that you want to shove up to the center of the car, you can pop the middle one right there with some levers right here on the side of the car. You can also pull that one and it automatically goes down. Same thing for that one. Now you got to move the seats up to get them to go all the way down, but it's a pretty simple procedure for getting them to go down, which I like. Some of these other ones, like when we've got the Pacifica minivan, It's a little harder to fold them. You got to pull on them, push them. At least this, you just pull the lever and they go down, and that will give you a pretty decent amount of cargo space with the back seats down. Now for me, it is about the right height to sit on, and you know, tailgating is a great pastime, and having a place to sit whenever you're in a car I like. Some of these, they don't have a flat surface to sit on, so I do like that about this. And we do have a DC power port back here, and I don't see USBs on this one, but we do have a DC power port, so you could plug in a phone charger back here if you were tailgating and wanted to run a light or something like that. And then you do have a button up here for your automatic close on your tailgate, but you probably shouldn't do it when you're in it. The good news is it doesn't take much pressure before it stops squishing you. Anyway, let's go look in the front. So your egress and ingress is not bad in here, especially when you put your seat all the way back. I do really like these seats. They're not like super wide, and they kind of hug to you a little bit, and the leather feels nice. And this does have power seats. I believe these are 8-way. Yep, we've got the lumbar support here, and you can go down pretty low, or if you really like to ride high, you can go all the way up. When I first got in it, it was all the way up, and I felt like I was driving, I don't know, way too high for me because my head's hitting the ceiling. and I can't reach the armrest. So, and then the door here, it's got nice leather on it. Almost all of it's covered in leather except for this bottom plastic part. And then you got your Bose speakers in here, and you got the lane departure control if you want to turn that off, which drives me nuts to have that on. Well, how does it handle? Let's try some curvy roads here and see. It does have a decent amount of torque and pull for such a non-turboed engine down low. It's not like you have to rev it all the way out to get going. And the transmission shifts fairly quickly. Now the Sky Active system, apparently, woo, she understeers. Oh yeah, there's a lot of salt on the roads, but I noticed when I was driving it around earlier that it does have a propensity to understeer. Now, not having a lot of experience in these crossover SUVs, I don't know what to compare this to. Most of the stuff that I'm driving is either full-on off-road style, or I'm, you know, looking at a car or a sports car. So compared to a car, I'd take the car any day. You can definitely feel that this is heavier and taller, obviously, but that's to be expected. I guess that when you're not pushing it real hard, the turn-in's not bad. It feels fairly sporty for a, little SUV. It does rev match when you downshift, so that's kind of zoom. This one is equipped with the sunroof, which is nice. Get a little bit of light in the car. But interior-wise, yeah, it's a nice little car. I think this is a higher level interior quality than some of the other options that I've been in on the market. But as I said earlier, it has been a while.
This model came equipped with the Bose sound system, which actually has a really nice soundscape. That's one of my favorite features about the vehicle. You can make some various different adjustments on the screen to adjust how the sound works in the cabin, and it does a pretty good job.
Backseat room's not bad, actually. My seat's pretty close to the front. If you do have someone sitting up front who likes to push a seat all the way back, it might be a little tight. But I'm 6 foot, and it's fairly comfortable. I got room to put my feet kind of under the chair. The seats have some nice cushion in them, and they're leather back here as well. And then you do have a nice armrest in the center with a slot to hold your phone. And there's two USB ports and a little holder inside of this armrest. On the premium spec and the higher models, there's actually two heated seat buttons in the back on the leather heated seats, which is pretty cool for a back seat.
Overall, I kind of liked the CX-5. My favorite things about it were I really enjoyed the sound system. I like the interior layout. It's nothing fancy, but that's fine with me. The biggest dislike was it doesn't have enough power, but that could be fixed by the turbo version. And while the back seats are comfortable, it's one of the smaller back seats in the class. But you should definitely go check one out today and see what you think. I approach everything from the idea of, do I enjoy driving it? And if I don't, then I don't care how reliable it is or how good of a car it is. If I don't enjoy it, then I don't want it. And I enjoy driving this. If you enjoyed this review, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And we'll see you next time. This is Kentucky Petrolhead, over and out.